Hi, my name is AJ, and today I'll be going into my research on how environment, culture, and lifestyle affect student health. I will be doing a comparison between UNCW students and Taiwanese students. I'll be looking at eating behaviors, exercise behaviors, and I will also be doing a deep dive into UNCW students and Taiwanese students and what changes that may happen for US students to become less obese. Why does this matter? So, right now, our population in the US is tending to become more obese. And I feel that we need to figure out a way for us to become in a steady decrease instead of a steady increase. Right now, we're looking at food availability and prices and how cheap some foods may be compared to how expensive some other foods may be. And I'm going to look at all those things. For me, I have a good way of looking at this because I have Taiwanese roommates, and my roommates from Taiwan are able to tell me a deep dive of how they used to live their life and how there's some of their family that still lives in Taiwan lives their life. And the reason why I'm saying Taiwan is because they're on a steady decrease of people becoming more obese compared to us. So the way I did my research, I looked at surveys. I created my own surveys. I sent them out to UNCW students, and I also gave them to my roommates from Taiwan to give to their families and for them to look. I also looked at menus from Taiwan and menus from US, and I determined on what could be the determining factors of calories and prices and things of that nature. Some of the independent variables are like food access, portion sizes, cultural views, daily transportation, and the cost of healthy food. And some of the dependent variables are eating habits, exercise behaviors, weight patterns, and health behaviors. So how I collected my data. I watched students in the dining hall eat. I watched students in Fisher, and I also watched students in WAG. And I watched how many plates they got, how many meals they got from Fisher, and I looked at that. I also sent out a survey on campus to one of my classes, and I got 25 responses, which I feel like is a pretty good sample size of what is to come and see what they can answer to my questions. For Taiwan, I shared the survey through my roommates, and they were able to send it to their Taiwan family members and some of their friends that they had back in Taiwan. And I got 18 student responses. I also looked at menus from the 7-Eleven in Taiwan and different food places like they have. They have a lot of street food, so I looked at some of those places. Some of my survey questions. I asked how many times a week do they eat? How many meals a day do you eat in a day? How many times do you exercise? What do they usually eat for breakfast? I asked for their height and weight, but that was optional. Most people didn't answer that question. And how many times a week do you eat fast food? And also, do you walk or bike daily? So these are some of my findings. So as you can see, for UNCW, students tend to not eat breakfast. Reason why for that, I would say, is because some people have to study late at night, and then you wake up and you have at 8 a.m. in the morning. So who's really gonna wake up at 6 a.m., take the time to make breakfast and then eat it before you go to class? Really no one. Do you walk or bike daily? It was about 50, here, there, yes or no. That's probably because of the scooters and things of that nature that makes campus easier so you don't have to walk, things like that. How many times a week do you exercise? It was about 2 to 4 days, which is about half the week. How many meals do we eat? We eat 10 to 3 and 4 and above. I was thinking more about it would be 3 to 2, but 3 and 4 and above, 4 and above. And how many times a week do they eat fast food? Which is an alarming 4 to 7, which is not very good for US. For the surveys for Taiwan, what do you usually eat for breakfast? It's about 33% for each, so it's pretty even on all three of those. How many times a week do they work out? 2 to 4. 2 to 4. How many times do you eat fast food a week? 2 to 4, which is less than the US, which is good, could be a reason why they are less obese. How many meals a day do they eat? They eat around 2 to 3. And do they walk or bike daily? Yes, they do. They walk or bike 100%, and I think that's because of how their society and culture is built, because our environment is not built for walking and biking, and it's not friendly for walking and biking. which could be another reason why. Are in US we don't walk or bike, which could be another reason to why we are not as healthy and fit in shape as Taiwan. So my findings at UNCW, I found that there are larger serving sizes, and it's pretty common. Like, I don't see anybody on campus that eats with a little small meal. Now, everyone eats with a big meal. They normally go back for seconds, especially in the CAF. Fast food is not only affordable, but also widely available. On campus, we can walk right over to Fisher, and there's tons of fast food in there. And it's it's affordable considering it's in our tuition, and a lot of students deem that as free, so we just go over there and eat that every single day. I can personally attest to that because that is the way I also think. People are less active and don't really want to walk much during the day or go to the or have physical activity. That is because of just stress. I talk it up to stress and how school takes a toll on us mentally, and how much they expect us to learn today and the test and the exams and all that. It's kind of hard to stay focused on your physical well-being when you have to stay focused on your mental well-being. And students also often lack time. There's not a lot of time in the week for us to get physically active and have that physical activeness that we would like to have. So my findings in Taiwan, students often walk or ride their bike every day. That's because of just the surroundings. There's not a lot of cars. There's not a lot of highways flowing back and forth. It's just a lot of ways you can get easy food with is just walking. There's a street food place where you could just walk right down the street and get food, and you don't have to drive. There's no cars or anything like that. Convenience stores, they offer fresh fruit and veggies and things like sushi and stuff like 7-Eleven. Say you walk into a 7-Eleven here, you'll see a lot of bags of chips, you'll see a lot of hot dogs, you'll see a lot of burgers. But what you won't see is good food, healthy food. Like in Taiwan, you will see seaweed, you'll see sushi, you'll see all different types of rice, which rice is good for you. And fruit, you'll see fruit and veggies in a convenience store. Rather, in here, you'll never see that. So some of the cultural differences. Here in UCW, exercise requires planning, like a gym schedule. You have to be steadfast with that schedule because you have school every single day. Most people have school from 8 to 1, and then some students even have to go to work from 2 to 11. I know that because my girlfriend does that. So that's kind of what I'm saying here, is that we don't have a lot of time to focus on our physical activity and our physical well-being. Larger portion sizes are often also considered normal, like chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A with fries and a drink. That's considered normal. While in Taiwan, there would be stuff to even finish the chicken sandwich. Food is more processed and fried. Like, everything we eat is fried, almost. Like chicken sandwiches, fried. Fries, fried. Everything is fried here rather than just cooked naturally. So in Taiwan, it's movement built into daily life. Just walking to the store. They can easily walk to the store. It's very eco-friendly. They have light meals, fresh snacks, like seaweed snacks and sushi. That's a lot of the times what they eat. They eat a lot of rice also. And their health habits influenced by community norms. It's just what the community eats and what the community gives out to people. Instead of giving out fast food and instead of giving out these easy prices to get this bad food technically for your body, they give out good food for your body and have street food lined up where it's rice and fresh chicken and fresh fruit and things like that. Some environmental differences. UNCW, there's more driving. There's fast food nearby. There's 2 cookouts right opposite of each other at UNCW, which is both. There's nothing good that you're gonna get off of a cookout menu. Nothing at all. And then there's high calorie foods in the dining hall, like pizza. I see everyone in the dining hall. I looked at everyone. Everyone on their plate had almost everyone had pizza and burgers. Now we do have this thing called Baja, but a lot of people do eat that. But I wouldn't say it's the healthiest, but it is the healthiest that we have at UNCW. In Taiwan, walking and biking are more common. That's just because of the eco-friendly and the way it's built. And healthy convenience food is available anywhere. So any store you walk in, you'll see it right there. And it's not hard to find, and it's affordable. It's not overly expensive like it is here in the US. What my data suggests. Lifestyle has a big impact on weight. Their surroundings influence the food that people decide to eat. Cultural traditions can help prevent obesity, such as in Taiwan, my roommates told me that every Sunday that they have their grandma cook meals for them, and the grandma comes and she sits down and she cooks meals and everybody sits there and they eat their food together. They don't eat any fast food. They don't starve themselves, but they do eat, and they do eat fresh processed food and home cooked meals, which is perfect. And Taiwan's everyday habits promote healthier choices, just as far as walking and things like that. Comparing cultures. So in UNCW, foods tend to be healthier, often fried, and comes in bigger portions. Exercise usually requires a lot of motivation, just because of all the stress that we deem as stress here in the U.S. based off what we hear and what the society is making our norm. And most people rely on driving for transportation. If anyone has a car, they normally use the car. Really, you don't see too many people bike when they don't. When they have a car. It's when they don't have a car they normally bike, which it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be a million cars. It should be half cars, half bikes, and you should only really have a car. You should only really drive the car on far distances. If you have a short distance, why not just walk or bike? Just healthy exercise. In Taiwan, the food is normally lighter, fresher, and it comes in smaller proportions, which is a big reason why they are less obese. And exercise is a part of everyday life, and walking and biking are a common way to get around. What did I learn? Health isn't just about what you choose to do on your own. It's about your society, your community, what's being offered to you. I don't think that it's something that a certain person can do in the U.S. by themselves. I feel like we as a U.S. need to change as a whole, not just as one person, because there's a lot of stress, especially on college students who are struggling to maintain their grades and also have to worry about their physical activity. It's not as easy. And culture and environment play a big role, like I was just saying. And little things you do every day can make a difference. Just walking. Instead of taking your time to drive, how about walk? Instead of getting a meal plan, go to the store and buy fresh fruit, buy fresh vegetables, and cook most of the time. See if you can figure out a way that you can cook during your day if you come home from school, and just cook a slight meal, maybe a 10-minute meal off of Reddit or Facebook or something like that. Why this project matters. This project matters because as a U.S. as a whole, we are steadily getting obese. And I was trying to figure out ways that we can not be so as obese, and that we could be healthier with our lifestyle and just lifestyle choices. And what I found is that in order to do that, we have to eat lighter proportions. Our proportion sizes are way too big. We have an over amount of food, and a lot of the food is just not good for you. And especially when you're eating it as much as you eat it, and say if you go back for seconds, and the buffets that we have and everything that we have is just not good proportion sizes. And that is a major reason on why the U.S. is obese, and why that we need to, as a whole, take note into this and change our lifestyles. And as a conclusion, students in Taiwan tend to be a little bit healthier. That's what I found. And the reason why is just because of their physical activity, their smaller proportion sizes, and their food that's being offered to them. And UNCW students face more challenges of the food that's being offered to them is not as good. They don't have a lot of places that they could walk and bike around because of just how dangerous it is nowadays. And there's just more fast food and more options that weighs in the mind of a student's mind that makes them just be, oh, this is easy, let's go get it. And I feel like as a whole that we can change that, and we could, as a whole, make our country not as obese. And that is what this whole project is about, and that is my research.